This robot is creating a lot of buzz online.
I know the thing's pretty dangerous. It's very heavy. It's dynamically unstable.
I'm sure nothing feels weird or demonic about this whatsoever.
So let me get this straight. You built a 7-foot-tall, all black, goat-headed robot that can carry a chainsaw. And you wonder why people call things like this demonic.
This robot created by Satirus Robotics for dangerous jobs like wildfires and more. This robot is creating a lot of buzz online over its appearance. Probably not the first time you've seen the picture of this thing. It's everywhere online. Its capability and potential role on the front lines of wildfires is impressive. This all as Washington continues to deal a terrible scene there in Spokane. It's top of mind what things like this could do in these challenging situations, especially when weather conditions create terrible challenges for those teams. So let's bring in Bo G. He's the founder and creator of Satirus. Bo, thanks for being with us here on Fox Weather. Before we get into this, have you been wowed by how viral what you've built has become on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely. And really the crazy part is I actually put the website out almost 2 years ago to not much fanfare, and just took one post on X and went completely crazy and, nearly took my website down from the traffic. So not something that I was really expecting to see.
It's a good problem to have. So take us to the beginning. How did your experiences lead to the creation of Threehalves? What made you want to develop this?
Yeah, so I've been looking at humanoid robots as an engineer for a long time, and it was starting to look like it was going to get possible financially to build these things with the kind of advancement of a lot of the component parts of them just getting a lot cheaper. And, the problems near to me are not so much doing dishes or the laundry with the robot, but I live out here in the woods, right in the middle of the wildfire country. So really thinking about forestry, brush clearing, this sort of thing. If those sort of jobs could get made safer, I wouldn't say through automation, but more through just adding some capability there.
Yeah, you called it Threehalves, right? It's almost like half goat, half horse, half person with this.
Exactly.
So to address the elephant in the room, you did make some choices with this aesthetically. It's almost like in the end of days, if you made some bad choices, you might see this pulling up. What made you decide on this design?
Yeah, sure. So if you think about other dangerous implements like a lathe or a wood chipper or something like that, people kind of know that they're dangerous and to stay back. But humanoid robots, no one's really seen these up close until very recently. So my kind of thought here is, I know the thing's pretty dangerous. It's very heavy. It's dynamically unstable. I think the design aesthetic should probably be to be cautious around it. And if you don't know what it is, stay away from it. And also, I'm really only looking into doing the most dangerous type of work with this thing.
Okay. I'm not even going to try to fake it or pretend. All right. If I'm trapped somewhere in the woods at night and this thing right here shows up to rescue me, listen, I'm not screaming immediately like, oh my gosh, praise God, I've been rescued. No, I'm probably peeing my pants while I'm trying to run away from this thing. And it's got a chainsaw in his hand too. Okay, have y'all not seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything? Like, what do you? I'm not looking to this for refuge. Okay, I'm not. I am completely understanding why people probably saw this robot right here on this screen and started asking, why did they make it look like this? Because according to what we heard from the owner and operator of the actual robot, he developed it to operate in dangerous environments where sending a human being could be, pretty much putting your life at risk. All right. And on the surface, that actually sounds like a great idea. If there's a wildfire or another type of natural disaster, a collapsing structure or something along those lines, I'd rather risk a machine than to risk human life. Okay. So there's nothing inherently wrong with that That's awesome. But when you look at the design though, like when you look at this, man, goat-like head. Look at the eyes looking at you, the horns. Man, the thing is like all black, you know what I'm saying? And it can hold a chainsaw like this too. If you stuck in the woods, in a wildfire, and this thing is coming to save you. Oh, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, for real, like, what are we doing? When you made this, you already knew what people was going to say. You already knew what people were going to say. That's why it went viral.
Look at that face. A 7-foot-tall robot with a goat head and glowing eyes. Oh, and it can also carry a chainsaw. I'm sure nothing feels weird or demonic about this whatsoever. A company called Satris is building a robot called Threehalves, and they're saying it's designed to keep people out of harm's way by going into places that are too dangerous for humans. Things like wildfires and collapsing buildings. Now just imagine being stuck in a wildfire and this thing shows up and says, "I'm here to save you." Because why does it need a goat head and horns? Well, people were asking the same question and the company responded with this. They said the horns have wide-angle cameras in them which allow us to see the positions of the legs and arms. But that still doesn't explain why it needs to look like that. Also, because of the size of the horns, the robot can't fit through standard American-sized doorways. Also, Threehalves doesn't have any hands. It has a quick disconnect wrist system. It can swap out tools like a chainsaw or a drill. And I took this screenshot from their own website and it literally says this robot is more dangerous than it looks. But don't worry, because if you were ever in a situation where you need to stop it, they show you its weak points in case you need to do so. Now, why would this company put out a manual on how to stop it? At some point, you have to stop asking whether they could have designed it differently and start asking why they didn't. They expect people to trust AI and robots. Then they build a 7-foot-tall goat-headed machine with a chainsaw. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Now, this is where I want Christians to be careful, because when I first saw the robot, I saw the same thing too and had the same reaction. I literally was just like, man, that thing looks demonic. Look at this demonic goat-looking figure thing right here. But there's an important difference between saying that looks demonic and saying that is demonic, all right? Those are two completely different things, all right? And as believers, we can allow our emotions and our initial reactions to become our spiritual conclusion without the evidence, okay? We understand this coming from the Bible. John chapter 7, verse 24, and Jesus says, "Stop judging according to outward appearances, rather judge according to righteous judgment," okay? So now, obviously, Jesus wasn't talking about robots, wasn't talking about none of that, but the principle still matters. Something can look very creepy without being spiritually evil, okay? Even though we don't know the intentions of the owner and why he made it that way. Something can look innocent and actually still be spiritually destructive. I understand that. So the appearance isn't always the evidence, okay? The appearance is, it could just be an appearance. It just could be something that's just like, yo, this man decided he wanted to make something that looked exactly like a minotaur with horns, all right? But I think that that's why Christians need discernment versus having the paranoia surrounded about this particular thing. Now, I already know somebody's going to be like, well, Rod, come on, man. It has a goat head. You don't know what the goat head represents? I understand. Trust me, I do. There's absolutely a biblical imagery involving the goats, and I understand that from Matthew chapter 25. I get it. There are also several cultural and occult practice type of imagery that is associated with the goat-like imagery that honestly pretty much is pure evil, okay? I understand that. But here's the problem, though. A visual resemblance doesn't automatically establish spiritual intent. I can't do that, all right? Yes, it looks creepy. Yes, this thing looks creepy standing at this door right here, looking at me with its glaring eyes. But if we're going to accuse somebody of intentionally prompting something satanic or demonic in the design, then we need something stronger than, man, just look at the appearance. Otherwise, I just think that Christians will start turning things into just blanket accusatory and blanket paranoia, and we're just going to accidentally damage people's credibility and stuff like that. And I don't want to do that. And I also don't want to damage our credibility, because we're still supposed to be a witness. So that's why the discernment matters when we come to these particular things. But it's okay to admit that, hey, this thing just looks very weird. All right. So I pray that the owner, kind of takes it back and has a little bit of a redesign, because listen, nobody wants to get saved by a 7-foot tall, goat-headed type of figure dressed in all black with a chainsaw. Okay. Nobody wants to be saved by that, especially if you're stuck in a wildfire. All right. Or you're stuck in a dangerous situation. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section down below. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe if you enjoy more faith-based content, and please share this with your family and friends so that we can be a blessing to each other. Until the next time, be blessed.